this is Tracy, and welcome to the Woman Within You podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. I have a special guest with me today. Hi, who are you?
I'm Wanda. I'm Patrice's mom.
Hi, Mom. How are you?
Doing great. Just great, daughter. Very good.
Well, Mom, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
So, my mother is at a really pivotal place in her life. She's getting ready to retire. Yay!
It hasn't been easy.
Oh, really?
No, it hasn't. It has been a struggle at times. It has been rewarding at times. It has been where you cry at times because you know you're trying to reach a destiny. You're trying to reach a place in your life where you don't work, but you're afraid. You have all kinds of emotions.
Really? So would you say that you're about 60 days away from your actual retirement date?
Yes.
So how do you feel?
I have a lot of emotions. Because I grew up there, because I went there at the age of 17, being a 17-year-old kid not knowing anything, your parents teach you, but they don't teach you about the world and how it's going to be and how that world is going to treat you.
Right.
So going there, loving to type, because that was my thing. I could type. Let me get this job because I could type and then I can buy me some expensive shoes.
So wait, you only wanted to work there to feed your shoe habit?
Yes. Basically, it was myself and my girlfriends. We strive to get the best in school so we can get our grades up, so we can go into what they had work study. So I only had 4 classes, and after that 4th class, I actually went to work. Mm-hmm. But you had a work study coordinator. He came. He made the interview for you. So I had 2 interviews. One was ITT Hartford and one was the Connecticut Housing Finance Authority. So there I go, dressed to impress.
Do you remember what you were wearing?
Yes, I truly do, like it was yesterday. I used to love these orange pants. Orange silk, it's like a burnt orange silk shirt with a white blazer.
Ooh.
And so I went there, hair intact and everything. And the ladies, we talked, and she was like, okay, why don't I just give you a test? Because you say you can type so well. We want to see how well you can type. So there I am typing away because that was my heart. I love to type. I wanted to be the secretary. I could type.
But wait, there was no computers back then.
No, it was actually a typewriter and a manual typewriter at that. But you only had to type 40 words per minute. Okay. I typed 60 per minute.
So you was just in there slaying.
On a manual typewriter. Yes, I did. And then soon after she said, do you want to work? And I said, absolutely. I want to work. So I did from 1:30 to 4:30. I worked there. And then soon after graduation, they was like, we want to keep you because we see the potential in you and we want to keep you.
So I have a question for you. So you went straight from high school into the workforce. Mm-hmm. Did you ever consider college or?
Absolutely. At one time in my life, I did attend college.
Okay. Well, back then, I'm going to get into that in a second. But back then, you went from the high school to your current, to your job.
Yes.
So you weren't going to transition to college and then the job?
No, I went there because I knew they pay 100% for college.
Oh, okay.
So I wouldn't have a loan, a student loan or anything. I could actually get my college paid for.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm. So that's why I actually chose that job opposed to the ITT Hartford. Okay. And it was great. It was rewarding. I mean, I started doing files for our single family. I moved around a lot. I talked to people. I love talking to people, and especially being in a single family. And what the mission is to get people home. So it was so exciting to me to see the work that went into getting a mortgage and mm-hmm. how people become first-time home buyers. So I was so excited to be in that department. And needless to say, someone else needed me in a different department. And that department was human resources.
Okay.
So, mm-hmm. One girl, she was out on maternity leave. So they wanted me to help. And I said, oh, absolutely. I can help. I can add. That's nothing to it. You're just doing adding. So I did. I stayed. And afterwards, I did such a good job there. He said, "Oh, you know what, kid, I want to keep you."
Kid?
Yes, he always called me kid, and I love it. It was terms of endearment, and because he was older than I, and so that's how I got in human resource. And then one day he came to me and said, "How about your future being in payroll?" And I said, "Hey, I'll try anything." You know, it was nothing to me to try anything because I just wanted to progress and I just wanted to be there as long as I could. Needless to say, I never knew I was going to be there for 40 years. And here I am, 40 years of service, of state service, which is great. You know, you meet good people, you learn a lot. I actually used to go into the conference rooms and I prayed for people. And I think that's what my calling was for CHFA, being there 40 years, because people would be going through and then they would come to me and ask me to pray with them about something. And we've prayed and we've cried and we've done everything. So I've made a lot of friends. It has been really, really rewarding. You know, you have your good and your bad and your ugly, but overall, it has been a really great experience for me.
So most of our listeners are millennials and Generation Z. Is that what you call them? Yes. So I want you to talk about, or let me just ask you this. How do you deal with management styles and having different bosses and different people come in and their personalities are different and you have so much institutional knowledge and these people come in and they want to change things and if it ain't broke, don't fix it mentality, you know, you may have because you've been there for so long. How do you cope with that?
I've never had that type of, I've never been like that. I really like change. So whenever they came in, me being there as long as I have, they would ask questions. Well, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And say, okay, well, let's see how we can do it better, that it better helps the employees. So I was always willing to change.
Okay.
And I feel like in life, you have to change. Things is going to change. It's never going to stay the same. And you're going to have all types of personalities. You're going to come into contact with people you're not going to really care for. But me being a Christian, I try to find the good in people. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it would hurt trying to find the good in people. But I've always been that type of person, trying to find the good in people. So it never bothered me that we had new people. I was always so nurturing that I wanted to show them what I did. I wanted to show them how I stayed there for 40 years and the benefits of staying there for the 40 years and what you'll get for staying there. So it never bothered me. I'm just not like that I would let something as small as that bother me.
Okay.
Because I feel like, God put you in places where you're supposed to be. And then he's going to bring people in your lives that may give you a challenge, but then without a shadow of a doubt, knowing him, that there's a lesson and it's going to make you stronger.
Absolutely. Very well spoken. Now, so when you started with your job over 40 years ago, there were no computers.
None.
And I can just imagine that now everything is technology driven. So how did you change with the times with technology coming in?
It was funny. It was funny. I remember typing everything on what they call a word processor.
What's that?
It's a typewriter. It's a typewriter, but in the typewriter, you could store different types of material in there. So we had a handbook. Okay, we had a word processor. So what I did is I stored all the information I could about our handbook in this word processor. And then one day we get this call. Okay, we got computers. We're getting computers. What do you guys need to have some training? And I'm like, a computer? What the heck is a computer? So needless to say, we went to the training and I'm sitting there because I'm the youngest in there and I'm typing on this and I'm like, oh, this is neat. This is really neat. Oh, I can put a lot of information in this. And then you see the older people, they're afraid. They were afraid to touch it. They would not touch it. Mm-hmm. And me, I was like, oh my goodness, this is so good. And then when I totally found out Excel exists, I'm like, oh my God, I can do adding, I can subtract. And I made this long spreadsheet. I was so excited. I'm like, you better go.
Wait, so you taught yourself Excel?
Yes. No one taught me. I taught myself.
That's a talent.
And I absolutely love Excel. I would do everything in Excel. I connect workbooks after workbooks after workbook because I love Excel. And I taught, it was all self-taught. It really was.
Wow, that's a skill set. So not only did you had training on the computer, but then when the software came in, you taught yourself. That's why they don't want you to go.
Exactly. Well, my boss know. And, you know, the thing is you have the people that know you know your job, but they never want to acknowledge that you had know your job. But I had someone walk in the door. God was good. He had him walk in the door and he knew my worth.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And all the years that I didn't get the money that I deserve, he made sure I did. In the 4 years that he'd been there, my salary had tripled.
Wow. Now there was another episode, Your Resume is a Mess, and I talk about waiting your turn for promotions. This woman, my mother, has waited her turn, and in 4 years, her salary tripled. That's amazing.
It was amazing to me. I couldn't stop crying. But he kept saying to me, no, you're worth it. You're worth it. You're so good. You're about the best payroll person I've ever had work for me. And he said, oh my God, I can't believe you're going to leave me. He was like, don't leave. He was like, can you come back? We will rehire you after you retire. And I said, absolutely, because he's been so good to me. So I can go back part-time. And he said, pick my hours. And I get 75% of my income still and collect my pension. So he has
that's
amazing.
That's good. Let's talk about pension, right? So I know you said that you have some anxieties about retiring because for our listeners, when you retire, you don't get a weekly paycheck anymore. You get it monthly, and it's called a pension, if you don't know that.
Absolutely.
So now that you're going to be retired, how do you think the transition is going to be with you being paid, every week or every 2 weeks to now just being paid your pension once a month? How do you feel about that?
Well, at first I was a little afraid, but now that I think about it, the way I think about it, like again, I have to put God in it because he has been the source of my life for so long that now I think about it like this. Oh my God, instead of every 2 weeks, every month, I'm going to get this huge lump sum. And it's going to be like at the end of the month. So it'll be for the beginning of the next month, and everything can be paid at once and still have money left over.
Oh, that's a good attitude. Can I borrow some of that pension money?
Absolutely, you can. And plus you get the big check because you kind of like, you save all your vacation time, so you max out your vacation time, and you have this huge check that you can really rely on if you need.
See, that's interesting because I think that a lot of people don't know the value of choosing an employer that, number one, offers you a pension and offers you those type of benefits where when you retire, you can have your vacation time as a payout. So it's really important that when we're choosing a job that we talk about the benefits of the job.
Absolutely. And I say to all the young people walking through the door, because they have to come see me, I say to them, you will not go and find a better place to work to have a defined pension, because right now everybody don't want a defined pension.
Right.
They want a 401k. And then that's totally like leaving it up to yourself to save this money. So I tell them, you're at a place where you can have a defined pension, and you only have to stay for 15 years to have that defined pension, and also have your medical for the rest of your life. And medical is so important. Me dealing with my dad being sick and his death, I know how important it is to have medical. And I'm so happy and so thankful to God that I was able to be there for 40 years, because I did get at one time a little antsy and apply for another job at the bank, and I got the job. And then I said, Nah, never mind. The medical was great for me and my child being a single mom. So that's why I stayed. And it was very flexible there. I could leave at any time to pick my child up. I could leave to do, different personal things that you needed to do. So I say to our millennials, our Generation X, all of those people, try to find some place that have where you can have medical when you get older, because it's very important, because Medicare doesn't pay unless you stay in the hospital for 7 days.
Right.
If not, you're gonna incur all these bills for medical bills. But myself, I am so blessed that honestly, I've never had a medical bill come in the mail.
That's a huge blessing, because
yes,
a lot of people are in debt because they don't have the proper insurance,
exactly,
or they can't afford to pay their co-pays or their deductibles.
Yeah, that's why no matter what happened at my employee, I stayed. I stayed because I know it will cover my child and myself, and now myself for the rest of my life. And it feels good.
Well, Mom, I am so happy that you joined me today on the podcast and you told a little bit about your story. Congratulations on your upcoming retirement.
Thank you.
I am super excited for you, super proud for you. We're going to vacation.
Yes, we are. We're going to travel. I'm going to see some things I've never seen before.
Oh, that's a good question. So what are your plans after you retire?
Okay, after I retire, first of all, I have an 81-year-old mother that I take care of. I'm going to take her to our hometown for 2 weeks. And then I'm going to join my daughter and my family for a cruise. And then as a surprise for my husband, I'm going to take him on vacation for his birthday. And then I decided, that I didn't tell you, I've decided to take a course. I've decided to go to school and to become a realtor.
Congratulations,
I've
Mom.
already contacted the university, and I'm going to be a realtor because, like I said, I was very excited when I was in the single family. And I also had a taste of that a couple of years ago. We went out to one of our workshops that we have, and I had a blast talking to people, talking to young people, trying to make them understand that you don't need to throw your money out the window. Get something where you can have a tax exempt, something you need. So I think I'm going to be great.
You are going to be great.
And I know so many people in that field that they're so excited that I'm doing this, that they're willing to help, willing to sponsor me. So that's my goal.
I am super excited for your new endeavors. I'm excited that you're finally retiring. Maybe now she can help me with the kids.
Absolutely. Have my babies.
But Mom, thank you so much for joining us today. And Mom, so every week we do a weekly affirmation, and I put it on my website, thewomanwithinyou.com, so that our listeners can also can affirm as well. So if you don't mind, let's read together this week's affirmation. Okay, so ready? What I want to manifest has arrived. 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 So listeners, what I want to manifest has arrived is our weekly affirmation. So you say that 4 times daily. And when you're saying it, make sure you truly believe it. Okay?
That's right. Trust God.
Trust God.
Thank you.
Very well said. So thank you so much for joining us. And remember, you are strong, you are fearless, and most of all, you are beautiful. Catch you next week.